Hi there, it's January the 14th, and we continue our progress through the Good News according to Matthew, and we're in chapter 10, and we're going from verses 1 to 23. Now, having seen Jesus so pressurized by the crowds, and having seen him so pursued by those who need healing, we now see Jesus appointing others. He's just asked his followers to pray for workers to go out into the harvest, and here immediately we see him actually authorizing and giving power to his apprentices, to those who have been following him. Now, they are named, the 12 of them are named, they're very familiar names to us, Andrew, Peter, James, John, and the others who are with them. Interestingly, Judas is among them, the one who betrays Jesus, and it's interesting that he's included in those to whom is given power and authority to heal. He's not left out, so we need to remember that at this point he's a faithful member of the team. And Jesus sends them out and gives them authority as, and Matthew names them here as apostoli. An apostle in the ancient world, in the Roman and Greek understanding, was someone who was sent out to found a new colony of Rome. And so this is Jesus saying, go and colonize earth with heaven. And as you go, preach to them, say to them, turn around, come home, because God's kingdom is arriving, because God is king, and it's going to change your life. And they are to heal, they are to cast out evil powers, they are to raise the dead, they are to basically bring the demonstration of the kingdom with them, the demonstration of Jesus' power, as Jesus himself has shown them to do. And Jesus says, go to the lost sheep of Israel. Now, it's significant that Jesus is sending 12 of his followers. The 12 is a significant number in Israel, because obviously there were 12 sons of Jacob, Israel, and therefore this is perhaps the new Israel. This is the new ones who will fulfill. They're not just a sign, but they're a fulfillment. They themselves are going to be involved in bringing the messianic message to fulfillment and completion. And therefore it's quite understandable that Jesus is sending them. These initial 12 are going to Israel, to the people of God, to the ones to whom the Messiah was promised, and they are carrying Messiah's message in Messiah's name. This is not Jesus excluding everybody later on, and obviously he's already healed a Gentile servant in healing the centurion's servant. So it's not anti-Gentile, but it's actually saying our main aim here is the Jews at this point. However, Jesus says, and Jesus lets them know, that it's not going to be easy. They're going to face opposition. That if they find a place to stay, and they're not to take a lot of accoutrements with them, they're allowed to take their own provisions with them. They are to live off the provision of the people with whom they stay, and they're to go and stay with those people in their homes and to be supplied by them. And but if they're refused, then they are to withdraw from that situation. Jesus says, shake the dust from your feet and go to the next town. Jesus also says towards the end of the reading that it's going to be a source of persecution, that they can expect to be hated for the sake of his name. That the things that Jesus is doing are not going to be easily accepted by the people of Israel. And obviously we know that the end of Jesus' own story, or the end of his ministry story, is that he's going to end up crucified at the instigation of the religious authorities. So Jesus says they will betray you, there will be opposition even in families. Even sons will give fathers over to death, and fathers give children over to death. It's a terrible prospect in that sense. Following Jesus is going to cost everything for the apprentice. But Jesus says, when they deliver you over, don't be afraid of what you're to say, because he says, the Spirit of my Father, the one who's speaking in me, will speak in you. And this is a great promise that Jesus is saying, that they will have the equipment by his own Spirit coming and living in them and speaking through them. We can be confident today that that same Spirit of God, that same Spirit of the Father, is at work in all who want to faithfully live for Jesus. And even though we face opposition from those around us who are unhappy, who are often against the good news of Jesus, we can be confident that the Spirit of the Father who is living within us, the Spirit who empowered Jesus, will also empower us to bring this good news and to see the kingdom of heaven coming on earth. Have a very good January the 14th.